Okay, good morning. Good morning. Bezat Hashem, we're continuing with our class of
Cannot say, because of you, I'm not happy.
yeah, absolutely.
I'm not happy.
Yep.
Why
Yeah.
am I not happy?
Uh-huh. In fact, you saw the video I sent yesterday with Rav Schaefer, right? Did you see the video? Did you watch the video there? Wow. Very, very 1 minute video, Rabbi. Rav Schaefer says Lincoln had a general.
Yes.
And the general, there was at one point a certain situation which the general could have attacked us, wherever they were going to attack. And in 2 days, the war would have been over. The general made a mistake, didn't attack, and it led to 2 years of prolonged war. He wrote him a letter. He wrote a letter, to the general. And Rav Schaefer is asking, how did the general respond to the letter? He says, the general didn't respond to the letter because he never sent him the letter. Because Abraham Lincoln said, never send criticism to anybody. Never. Why? Nothing is going to come out of it. Nothing is going to come out of it. And therefore, nothing good is going to come out of it. And therefore, he wrote the letter. He put it in an envelope, sealed it, and put it in his drawer. Why? He had to get it out of his system. You hear? We're talking Abraham Lincoln, some goy, teaching us a concept here of no criticism. He says, all the more so for the wife. All the more so for the wife. Rav Schaefer says. Why? What do you want to get out of it? You want her to be better? 1,000,000% is not going to make her better. Why? It's just going to make it worse. She's just going to be doing things even dafka. Yeah? It says over here, criticism should be directed not against the person, but against the deed. What does that mean? First of all, we're not supposed to criticize at all. But let's say there are men who cannot hold it in. They're like, I don't know, I have to say it. Don't say it. But he says like that, for example, instead of saying, it was not right of you to embarrass me in front of all those people when you said that I don't help around the house. Yeah? Let's say, don't say that. He should say, I felt very uncomfortable when I heard myself being accused in front of all those people of not helping at home. Mom is completely different. Yeah, he didn't say, you did this. No, he said, I felt bad. And then she'll understand, oh, okay, So because at the end of the day, my feelings, right? I'm allowed to express my feelings, but not attacking you. In other words, always state what bothers you, rather than accuse the person you are speaking to. Now, this is not a permission to go and tell your wife, this bothers me, that bothers me. The dishes bother me when they're in the thing. No. We're not talking that this is a permission to go and start, talking in the third person and whatever, because we are not able to do that. This is talking about when a wife is fulfilled and two of them understand the art of communication, which most of us, if not all of us, do not understand. We're not able to do this. He's just giving you an understanding of when you're going to become to that degree. That's after we're going to patch up our relationships and there's going to be mutual love and understanding, and we're always giving positive, affirmations and infusing them with the love and the emotional support that they need, right? Once we do all that, he says, this is the way to talk. Yeah? In other words, state what bothers you rather than accusing the other person, right? That you're speaking to. Thus, instead of saying, you insulted me and you said blah, 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 say, I felt insulted when I heard these words. Yeah, it doesn't come from you. I felt insulted when I heard these words. Don't say you are not right or you are a difficult person. Rather, refer to the act as being hurtful to you. The act. It's the act that hurtful to me. Now, you did this and because I felt like that. Yeah? This is the only way to help the person being criticized accept the censure and to be able to compliment them in the future. For after words said in heat of reproof, such as, you are a heartless person, you can come back a week later and tell him or her that they have a golden heart. Meaning, a lot of times we say to our wives, right, to our spouses, you this, you ugly, you did that. And then all of a sudden later, you're beautiful. Now you said ugly, why? Not because she's ugly, but you wanted to hurt her, right? So you threw these words for, you heartless, your heart is a rock. He says, your heart is like a rock. And then you say, my Jonah, you have such a beautiful heart. How can you say that afterwards? You already spewed something out, yeah? That already it's hard to take back because this is engraved in their brain. You understand? And that's why no, you called me this 15 years ago. You understand? It's engraved in their brain. He says, instead of you using words, why, make it gentler. I find it difficult. For instance, the husband accuses his wife, why do you interrupt me before I finish speaking? Instead of stating the fault, he should use the word of a personal nature. It bothers me very much when I cannot finish what I'm saying. Yeah? He's basically saying sometimes we get involved in a conversation, right, which might not be going right. Think of what you're saying before that. Yesterday I was speaking to someone, they said, it's better to take 10 seconds to just think, okay, if I say this, what's going to happen? What are the repercussions? Yeah? What is it going to bring any benefit if it's going to bring benefit, sometimes there people are stupid enough to think that it will bring benefit, but it really won't. So I don't know how that advice is going to fit. To summarize, the above two rules, instead of opening with the plaintiff why and pointing to the accuser you, formulate the sentence on focusing on your particular difficulty. Such message is absorbed better and is far more effective. Meaning, not you, not why, but I feel this way. And I feel that this situation is making me feel this way. You understand? But again,
we had a class in dental school,
yeah,
psychology class.
yeah,
This is exactly what we were learning.
really,
Yeah.
wow.
Not
So,
to use you,
wow,
instead you substitute I feel.
yeah, yeah. So this is across the board. This, he says, is good with talking to your boss, talking to your children, talking to your employees. Forget about talking to your wife. She's prime, yeah. But not just your wife. In general, you're supposed to be a nice talking person. We have to train ourselves to be able to understand how to talk. Okay, first of all, it says we have to begin and end with genuine praise and sandwich the, criticism between. For example, you're wonderful with the children, your relationship with me, in organizing the house, in cooking. But there's one thing I wish that I could try to fix or that could be a little bit better. Not that you're doing it wrong. You understand? He says, I feel privileged to have such a good wife. I wish upon all the husbands to have such a good wife like you. You hear? Meaning, you need to give praise. You have to elevate her. You have to elevate her. And then he says, let's say something is bothering you. Say, but I wish this situation could be a little bit. Maybe, yeah, that could be good. That could be good, yeah. Says, this way our message has a much better chance of sinking in since we're saying you're really great, as I've just told you. But I do have a problem that perhaps you could help me. You understand? Meaning wow, it's such a beautiful plov. Nobody can do it. Yeah, but maybe my taste buds are a little bit too on the right. I have a problem, and maybe you can help me with my problem. Yeah. No, but behemet. See, if you pointed to the, for instance, let's say you cannot stand a messy house. For example, right? Let's say you cannot. Why is the mess here? No. Sweetie, I was born in a family and such that, huh?
No.
No. So I know you're right. It's not a mess. No, you're not going to say it's a messy house. I have a problem when things are a little bit like unorganized. I want you to teach me how am I able to cope with it. Oh, very good. If she says that, good. But you know what? She will understand deep inside a hidden message. By the way, these are not something we have to be telling when our wives are not in good connection with us. We for sure know when we have a good connection with our wife or not. If a husband goes out at night with his friends and his wife is no good with that, guess what? You have a very terrible relationship. You have a relationship of a wife that's drained and not emotionally fulfilled. You understand? So can you go at night? You know when? When she tells you, sweetie, you haven't seen your friends in a long time. You hear? They will. You know when? When they're fully fulfilled and they know that they're number one and nobody else is number one. They will say that. Exactly. No competition. As I told you before, yeah, my wife would hate the fact that I would speak to any woman, including my daughters. Why? Because they're females. You hear? Because why? Because I'm not number one. But guess what? When she's number one, she doesn't mind. Yeah, because right now, I tell you, sometimes I have to text, a female of another husband or whatever. Is it okay? Yeah, it's fine. Before, Absolutely not. Why? Because I'm number 0. You're going to make her number what? You understand what I'm saying? So there is, but you have to first build a relationship. And building a relationship is not saying, nah, I'll do my act, and then later I'll, whatever, yeah. By the way, one little caveat we got to put over here. In the bedroom, extremely important not to talk about anything except husband and wife, good looking, not good looking, this and that. Because what happens is the male, he thinks he's going to be a little bit, efficient, right? Sometimes either before the act or after the act, he decides to talk about the kids, how they need this and how they need that, and how to do this and that. It turns out to be a big argument. You understand? And this should be off the limits. I had those situations. I've been talking to people who've been having those situations, and what's gonna equal out is that, it's a traumatic experience, right? We just had, let's say, they had relations. We just had relations, and all of a sudden he's talking about this. Now, guess what? The relations is going to equal to, oh my God, maybe talking coming after that. And therefore, I don't want to have relations because maybe it's going to be here. So it should, bedroom, you want to talk some serious? Put your clothes back on, go downstairs to the living room and start talking serious. But in the bedroom, it should be off limits because it creates major, major problems. Yeah? He says over here, he mentions at the wife of Rav Shlomo Auerbach's funeral, right? The Rav said it. He said what? He said that my wife and I never upset my wife. Yeah, and as we know, it's a very famous story. He didn't ask for forgiveness. Why? I don't have nothing to forgive about. Never. He says I don't have to. What happens over here? He says the above was, we don't know the following. I heard one of his disciples today, a rabbi in Los Angeles, to say the funeral was over, and I was privileged to drive back with the rabbi home. I couldn't hold myself back and ask him, excuse me, for I asked a personal question on this difficult day, but I'm a young student and I have a desire to learn. How can it be that you never said an assaulting word to your wife for over 50 years? Yeah, he says, I heard what you said during but how could it be? Did you always want what she wanted? Did everything she did always find favor in your eyes? He's asking the rabbi, Neujeli 50 years and it was like everything was fine? He replied, of course not. Even twins who grew up in the same house have different opinions. Nevertheless, I never offended her. Whenever I felt an urge to remark about something that disturbed me, I would sit and think, with what compliment can I preface my word? Meaning, okay, I don't like this. Yeah, I want to do a sandwich. How can I make my comment without hurting her? That was number 2. With what good word can I end off and leave a pleasant atmosphere between us? Right? So how could I? The beginning. What could I say not to hurt her? Because at the end of the day, even the sandwich, you have to make sure it's not going to hurt her in any way. Yeah. And then at the end, how am I going to leave beautiful etta, right? He was silent for a moment and then added, if I couldn't find the proper formula, I would simply remain silent. But never did I utter an offensive word to my wife. So you see, he thought about it. How can I? If I can't, quiet. The Abraham Lincoln thing. Yeah? He wrote the letter and he said, you know what? I'm not going to send it. Why? What's the point? Did you see that? Did you see Abraham Lincoln thing? Yeah? It says, this shows the greatness of a man who has full control over himself and his speech. This line, we have to make it in gold and hang it over here. You know what a wife wants to see? Is my husband in full control of his emotions and his speech? And guess what? 99% of the time, no. And therefore, he is not a man for me. And therefore, I don't need to respect him. Why? I can only respect a man. A husband who loves me, who's in full control of himself, who's not going to weep like a woman, who's not going to break down like a girl, who's not going to be like a child. And guess what? If we listen to our own words and listen to the reactions that we have at certain things, we'll be like, hey, what is that? This guy. And let's say it wasn't our face. Yeah, we heard somebody else. Yeah, IA changed the voice. You'd be like, what is this guy? He's a girl. What's he talking like that for? And they're like, well, this girl is you. Why? Because you were talking like that to her. You broke down when she told you something. I mean, so she wants to see again a husband who's this shows the greatness of man who has full control over himself and his speech, like clay in the hands of a potter. Yeah, this is the total contrast of most of the people of the world who, when angry at their wives, choose the most insulting words they know and hurt them at her with full force. Dr. Boris, you heard what he said? You hear what he says? Now I remember myself that I did this 100%. I admit. Yesterday we had a class, and I said a couple of things that I admit, and they tell me, "Why are you so afraid to admit?" I said, "You know why? Because I really made mistakes, and I want to know that I was at fault. You understand? And until we're going to know that we're at fault, we're unable to fix ourselves, because the most important thing in AAA, Alcoholics Anonymous, is, hi, my name is so and so, and I'm an alcoholic. And do you know when they say that? Every single day from now till the end of the, I know guys, 20 years no drinking. They get up, hi, my name is so-so, I'm an alcoholic. Ibi, for 20 years you didn't drink. What's the deal? What's the deal? You know what the deal is? He knows I have this in me, and therefore if I say, oh, I am no longer alcoholic, guess what? I'm going right back to alcohol. You understand? I'm going right back. Why? I got cured. And since I got cured, I can drink a little bit. Guess what? If they drink one little cup, finished. And there have been cases like that. Finished. So they're very particular. They teach them. By the way, this concept, I'm trying to get a handbook of it. If anybody can get me, please, I would love to have it. This AAA has a handbook of how to treat alcoholism. This can be used in almost anything. In smoking, in this, in biting nails, in everything. Why? Because they teach you a certain ma'alach, a certain way to treat your life. You understand? And
it contradicts the teshuvah concept.
What's the teshuvah concept?
Because after teshuvah, you become a new person.
No, my friend. No, my friend. You think that you did teshuvah for Zel Levatala. If you don't watch yourself every single day, you're not going to fall into it?
Of course you will.
So it's not contradictory. Teshuvah is, yes, I did teshuvah. They did teshuvah. They no longer drink. But I have to be careful of myself every single moment of my life. Just like it says, En apatropes be arayot. Why? I'm 80 years old. What arayot? It's not working anymore. Maybe, I don't know. You cannot be with a woman alone in the room. You cannot have an open phone with all the things. Why? What am I going to do 80 years old? Come on. No way. The Yetzer Hara is always right here, right behind the wall. Say, okay, let me see, when can I get him? Let me see, when can I get him? When can I get him? When can I get him? And the worst part is when we're at home with our wives. Because he quickly, when can I get him? Oh, boom, she said that to him. Boom, he put something in your mind. You're like, but what is going on? Oh, you didn't wait. 2 minutes. You just messed up. You opened your mouth when you weren't supposed to. That was a little test. It was a little test. She gave you a little jab. You came back with the right hook. Why? And therefore, if like the Alcoholics Anonymous guy, we say to ourselves, hi, my name is so-and-so, and I need to treat my wife without any comments. On a daily basis, we got to get up and say this. I need to make sure that my wife is number one. And like that, if we go every day, guess what? We're not going to fall. But what do? We do the 3-week program, 4-week program, 5-week program, yeah? We see, oh wow, she changed. And what happens? Boom, I got cured. No, you're back to drinking again. What are you doing? You understand? So therefore, right, he says, I couldn't give a good I kept my mouth shut. A husband who is very callous to his wife may not be evil at heart, but probably believe that this approach is the best way to reach her, to make her understand how important the issue is to him, and that he takes it to heart. But Rabbi Auerbach revealed an amazing secret about a person's psyche. If one wants something to really penetrate and to reach another person, there is no need for harsh words and acoustic tone. Instead of shooting arrows at the heart and wounding it, One can use compliments which open doors to the heart in a pleasant way. Once the door is open, a few gentle words to express that criticism can easily enter. After that, one needs another good word or two to close the heart once more, and the message will remain inside. Thus, the result will have been achieved without power struggle, which isn't effective to begin with. Many men, I gotta make sure to tell her that how else she's gonna know, Not like that. Nabarot, it's gonna look like it's gonna look like you won because you can't do that, right? So she doesn't respond. She doesn't want you to go like a crazy madman, And then she's gonna say, "Я ему покажу." You understand? I'm gonna show this evil, conniving guy who supposedly loves me. You understand? He says gentle words. And by the way, this is very important with the kids as well. It's a shame what we see here. Depressed kids. Mazazeh. It's ridiculous.
It's so cute, but
Parents are too busy making money. Women are busy with whatever they have. And the poor kids, 4, 5, 6 kids in the house, you leave them like, excuse me for saying, like dogs on the street or cats, to fend for themselves. They're unable to in an environment that we live in. You got to spend lots of time with your kids. You got to show them lots of love. Love, very important. Many of these kids that we see are loveless. You understand? You look at them, you want to cry. Mazazeh. It's ridiculous. It's mamish ridiculous. We all have kids over here. And all of us, our car is important, what we wear is important, how we look is important. Our friend is important that I see him every night or once a week or once a month. Do you take out your child once a week, once a month? No, Behemet, you're laughing. Do you take out your child once a week individually? Yes, I bet you do. Individually. I saw a good custom when I had the pizzeria. I see an older man brings one grandchild for breakfast. I said, Mazazeh, I know he has others. He said, breakfast time with Bobo. I said, oh wow, nice. Next week, the other one. Following week, the other one. And like this, every week he brings one. Why? Johnny Bobosh, how are you? How's your day? There's a bond, there's a love. There's at least this child has, a parent has to do that every day with his child. You have to have one-on-one with your child. You know what that one-on-one means? You have to take one of your children, take him to the basement where nobody's there, no other children, one-on-one, and say, hi Johnny Dadesh, how was your day? He'd be like, why is my dad giving me so much attention? I want to know, how's your day? And listen to him. Oh, wow, yeah, Behemet. This child will never forget that first encounter. And if you continue like this, once a week, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, that's it. 5-10 minutes, there's going to be a bond between you and the child. And this is the kind of bond we need with our wives as well. Can you imagine if a child needs this? A woman who's so vulnerable, whose husband is outside, you know what many says? What do you mean? I'm the man. I'm the one doing everything. I'm trying to keep the family together. My friend, all your money and all your real estate and all your dealings and all the bills that you pay and the tuition, all garbage down the toilet if you do not make this bond between your wife and your children. All down the toilet. You want to see proofs? I'm going to give you a whole list of people. You see them now how they are. You see where their children are right now. Chas v'shalom, they're in the hospital like a child right now. Why? Because he's not cared for. You understand? He didn't have the love. So what did he do? He's going to sit on a bike and go like crazy because he doesn't care. How many guys you see like that crazy on the bike? Tell me, you've seen? Brrr! Why? You know why? I have no love at home. Nobody loves me at home. So I'm going to ask for love. You know how many people love him right now in the hospital? You know how many people love him in the hospital right now? Hundreds of people reading Tehillim for him. That's what he wants. But not in that kind of case. You understand? So when are we going to wake up and understand that we have to have an investment where? At home, with the family, with the wife. And not when they become in a situation like this. And what do? We wait. We see the downgrading of our kids. We see him actually from a young age. We see, but we don't. He's a little kid. No. No, you must tackle it now, whatever it takes. If it means to close your office and spend a day with him and not go to school, you should do that. He's going to be like, wow, my dad did this for me. And the other day I said to my wife, and I really wanted to do it. It was Monday or Tuesday. I said, I'm going to leave my son at the store. I'm going to take my car and say, hey, sweetie, come on, let's go have lunch somewhere. Mom, that was a beautiful idea. Yeah, beautiful. But the thing is, it takes me an hour to go from work here. She's working. She doesn't really have an official lunch hour. To take her out like this, and that. So then she called me. I said, but I have this concept with her. I said, if I thought about it, it's as if I did it. So she called me up. How are you? This and that. And I go, yeah, fine. This. I said, can I tell you something? Yeah. I go, I had this thought where I would come right now, call you down, this and this. Wow, that's so good. Can you do that? I said, but you're working and so on and so on. No, you call me earlier and I can come out like this and like that. We have to surprise our wives like this. If you have major problem with your wife, you do this 1 time, 2 times, she's been like, I'm not number 1. I'm number 1. You understand? But who wants to invest in a wife like this? Who wants to invest in a wife like this?
She's in my home already.
Yeah. She's not.
No, we're sacrificing
A real.
long-term gains.
Yes. We're sacrificing long-term gains by investing in no. How is that? Short.
Long-term losses for short-term.
Exactly. The most important thing in our life, doctor, the most important thing in our life is that we're going to be there and see our children get married and happy and live and have kids and our wife is smiling. That's the most important thing. You know why? You could be a billionaire, but when your son is a druggie, your billions are garbage because he's a druggie. And then you're there all day seeing them, this guy wallowing in his like that. And you know whose fault that is? 1,000,000% the fathers. 1,000,000%. Every druggie, 1,000,000% the fathers. The kid wasn't born a druggie. He was not born a druggie. At 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, he was not a druggie. At 10, he was not a druggie. When he started going outside, and the father was too busy to say, Johnny Pradesh, where are you? Why are you coming at 1 o'clock? And he didn't invest in time to go with him to a pizzeria, to go with him play ball, to tell him, I'm your best friend. Papa's your best friend. And he feels that way. And you show it to him. You didn't do that. So what did he find? He found some idiot outside to be the best friend. And then this idiot told him, who has major problems with his father and whatever, he said to him, I found this thing. You take. Oh, it takes you. Woo! Oh. And he says, really? So he's doing so. Wow. And then that's not enough. Why? Because how much wows can you do? So he gives him something stronger, and he gives him something stronger, and he becomes a druggie. Meanwhile, the father, he's busy with his own stupidities. You understand? And who created that? The father created that. You understand? And this is the way we kill our wives as well. By seeing the poor woman is deteriorating. And what do? And she deteriorates even more. And we don't know how, what, where. We have an answer. You're killing her with your mouth. Just with this one little mouth, by not giving her the proper compliments she needs, by not treating her like a queen who she is because you're a king, no? You consider yourself a king, no? So therefore she's a queen because she's in your house. And yet we treat her we treat her not like a maid, even with a maid. Miss, can you do this? Miss, can you do that? You ever rank out your maid? Never, because you're afraid to lose her. You never say, hey, what's wrong with you? Get out of here. You never do. Oh, miss, can you please do like this, miss, please, miss? Yeah? Why? She's important to you. She's cleaned the house. And the wife? Slushi. Chatam. Talk to her like a piece of nobody. So Bezat Hashem, sorry I went off off the derech with the whole kids thing. But derech, yeah. Let's get into the plan. Let's use this concept of the AAA. That what? Hi, my name is so-and-so, and my mission is that I have to make my wife happy. That I have to watch my mouth not to criticize her. Because what? The criticism is not going to help. That I have to make her number 1. Why? In order for her to flourish in my house and help me lead my empire, which I'm building with her. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen, amen.